And so even though I might have been, and I can proudly say this, just a junior high school student, as John Dingell took his oath of office, he does not realize the many lives, like me, that he impacted. I am what I am today because John Dingell had the courage and the fortitude and the strength and love of this country to stand in times of difficulty. Where would this nation be if a man by the name of Martin King had not been listened to by a man like John Dingell, who then stood on the floor of the House alongside of a Southern president and voted for the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. The Southern districts that were created, the opportunities for many of us to ascend to higher office and to be welcomed in places of accommodation. Maybe even for this young president, President Barack Obama, to attend Columbia University, or myself to attend Yale University. John Dingell wasn't thinking about individual persons, nameless persons like me, but he took a stand when he knew that he might be subjected to an enormous primary fight, or that he would be considered, if you will, a lover of those colored people. But like Thomas Jefferson, some men are born for the public. Nature, by fitting them for the service of the human race on a broad scale. I have an additional 30 seconds.
Without objection, so ordered.
On a broad scale has stamped them with the evidence of her destiny and their duty. John Dingell has protected my mother. She's in a nursing home. How is she able to do that, having worked 37 years as a vocational nurse? Because of Medicare. There are many children in my district who are glad that in 1997 I was able to join John Dingell for the implementation of the children's health coverage. So John, I know that you like regular order, but I decided to be personal today. I want to thank you for those 19,420 days because they were not in vain. You saved many lives. You gave us opportunities. I am forever grateful, and I stand here as a daughter of America saying thank you on behalf of the United States of America. I yield back.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Peters, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd now like to yield 2 minutes of time to the distinguished gentlewoman from the state of California, Ms. Matsui.
The gentlewoman from California is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, it's a privilege to stand here today to honor a man who is so many things to this body. Public servant, respected legislator, champion of the working family, colleague, counsel, and friend. Above all, John Dingell is a legend in the halls of the Capitol. He fought bravely in World War II and performed so admirably that he rose to the rank of second lieutenant. Yet by the end of the war, John's service to this country was just beginning. He probably did not expect that he would serve in this body for more than half a century. Longevity is impressive, particularly in a hard-nosed business like politics. But what makes John's tenure here so significant is not how long he's served, but what he has accomplished during his tenure. Thousands and thousands of children and families across this country have lived healthier lives because of laws written by John Dingell. Workers and consumers enjoy protections today that they never had before John came along. It's been an honor for me to serve with John as he burnishes his legacy on the Energy and Commerce Committee. He's achieved this feat while staying true to the values that drew him to public service: fairness, justice, hard work, and loyalty. And we cannot think about John without thinking about Debbie, the love of his life. Their partnership is an inspiration for all of us, and we honor them both. Congratulations, John, on on this honor and achieving this milestone. We look forward to many, many more. I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields back the balance of her time. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Peters, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to now yield 3 minutes to the distinguished gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Cohen.
The gentleman from Tennessee is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Peters, for the time. It is with great honor that I am a member of this House and stand today in this resolution that honors one of the great members of this House, the Honorable John Dingell of Michigan. As a freshman member last year, I knew of Mr. Dingell's reputation, which all in America should know, but I knew it from personal knowledge from a former staffer, T.J. Oden, a good friend of mine in Memphis, who always referred to Mr. Dingell with great honor and great distinction and talked of stories of the past. And I'd always heard of Mr. Dingell. So when I came here, it was one of the great pleasures to meet him. And he treated me not as a freshman, not as a person who wasn't necessarily expected to win their re-election and somebody who would be here for a blip, but as a fellow member and an equal, and offered me advice and courtesies that you don't always see from a senior member extended to a freshman, and I certainly didn't see them from every member in this body. But his term here in the House should be an example to young people all over this nation who want to enter public service. While I was a freshman in this House, I was not a freshman in the legislative process, having served 24 years in the state Senate in Tennessee. In my political career, I've seen many people who get into office, and the first thing that it seems they want to do is move to a higher office. They take the position and they take votes that will extend them to a higher constituency, whether it's a congressperson wanting to be a senator, or a state representative wanting to be a state senator, or somebody wanting to be a governor, or a statewide officer, or a president or cabinet member. That's not the purpose, the reason why one should hold public office and be a member of this House of Representatives. This is a position that is worthy of dedication unto itself and to this chamber, as Mr. Dingell has and his father has served for over 3/4 of a century. He has dedicated himself to this House and to his district and to the issues of importance, and not to the advancement of John Dingell as Senator Dingell, Secretary Dingell, Governor Dingell, or President Dingell. It is that resoluteness and that purpose that I think holds itself out as an example to young people who enter office, is to enter an office and to do good in that office, and to know that that office is, when you take an oath, is what you're sworn to uphold and the duty that you should stand to, and not to seek self-promotion constantly. Mr. Dingell has done that, and that's part of what this record of service shows, a dedication to this House and to his district and to the purpose of which he was elected. In Washington, I have experienced a little over 2 years as a member of this House, and I have seen people in this community who revere Mr. Dingell and his bride. And in law, when a person's character is put on display for a jury, may I have another 30 seconds or a minute?
I would yield another 30 seconds to the gentleman.
Without objection, so
Thank you,
ordered.
Mr. Peters. When a person's reputation and character is put on display for a jury, it is the reputation as they're known throughout the community. And in this community of Washington, there are no two people who are thought of more highly and more revered for their charitable works and their friendship than John Dingell and his lovely bride, Debbie. So it was with those issues, the purpose for which he was elected and which he served for this House and for this country. And when he closed his remarks yesterday in the great rotunda at a celebration honoring him, he closed saying, "God bless the United States of America." I think it was perfect for Mr. Dingell, because he loves this country, and that's why he served so long and so well. So I join everybody and ask you to join in voting for this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman's time has expired.